Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back. It's game day for the Lakers, potentially their last game of the season. Potentially their last game. And yeah, I'm here today, recording this Western Conference YouTube video. I did the East yesterday, today I'm doing the West. So, let's get started. I'm just gonna recap yesterday's games. I only watched 2 of them. Well, I watched that 1.5. I watched the Knicks Hawk. I don't think we need to talk about the Sixers game. I think the Sixers just were beating up. I mean, I know it was close for a half, I'm pretty sure, and then the second half they just beat up on the Wizards, and they closed out the series without Joel Embiid, and with Joel Embiid's right meniscus tear, hopefully he'll be ready for the Sunday. I think it's their first game, June 6th. On Sunday is their first game. I'm actually interested in that series. We'll see what if Trae Young has anything left in him to move him past the Sixers. I got Sixers in 6, though. Personally. And I watched Hawks Knicks. It was a chippy game. It was a chippy game. There was like 3 or 4 technicals called. There was one on Nerlens Noel. Was there one on Trae Young? But I don't know. Trae Young was he's the villain of New York. He's the New York villain, and he ended up beating the Knicks, which is big. The villain beats up on that team and sends Spike Lee in his. So there will not be no more Knicks games this year. Because Trae Young, I think he had, what do you have? 30? I don't know, but it was 10 of 28 shooting, so, or something like that. I don't know how much he had. I think it was 30, but yeah, 30 on 28 shots, not the best, but you got the W. That's all that matters. And Derrick Rose had 6. Julius Randle, I think he had 23, but Julius Randle, man, he was a disappointment in the postseason. Big time disappointment. Like, it's time. He cannot be a first option for sure, and he was the first option. Him and Derrick Rose were, but still, I mean, you don't want Derrick Rose or Julius Randle to be your first option, and you want. Oh, I thought it canceled out. Hold up, I'm gonna reset this because my phone just. You don't want Julius Randle or Derrick Rose to be your first option. Let's just be real here. But yeah, and. Of course, Jazz, Grizzlies, I didn't pay attention to that series, to be honest. We'll get into that in a bit. But, I'm proud of Ja Morant. He averaged 30 points per game in the playoffs, which is really good for his first playoff series. They won their only game without Donovan Mitchell, but I heard that in game 2 or something, there was really questionable calls. On the Grizzlies, that, I don't know, I heard that it was a poorly officiated game. That the Jazz got lucky or whatever. But Donovan Mitchell, I think he had 30 yesterday, something like that. I don't know, but they won by 20. It was over from the beginning. They were up by like 25 going to the half or something like that. 20. I don't know. My phone. I think I accidentally clicked the button, but I didn't watch that game, but Mavericks Clippers, that was my game of the night. That's the game that I was paying attention to the most. After the first half, Luka had 30 in the first half. That was crazy. It's crazy how good Luka is, man. It's just like, I think, oh man, if he can get that free throw shooting now, he only shot 3 free throws last night. He had 14 in the second half, but he shot 30. He got 44 on 37 shots, which isn't good at all. It's not great, but you still get the W. He struggled a little bit in the second half, but they got that job done. And Kawhi Leonard, why are you taking that shot with 7 seconds left on the game clock? With 7 seconds left in the game, you can get a way better shot than that. You saw Rondo get on him, Rondo didn't play good either yesterday. I think he had 0 points. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what he was doing. He could have got a way better shot. Paul George, shockingly, He's been amazing this he's been pretty good this postseason, pretty solid. I mean, it's not Pandemic P, but the Pandemic P narrative is gonna go on until he proves like wins he has to win a few chips. I feel like that's the only way it'll go away. Like he has to win a chip, and now they're down 3-2. So, let's start off on Jazz Grizzlies since I didn't really watch that series. So, like I said, Ja Morant averaged 30 points per game in his first playoff series. Dillon Brooks played pretty solid in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell is just different, man. He's great. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell averaged 20.5 in his playoffs, and Rudy Gobert had averaged 17 in this first round playoff series. Great. And I'm sorry, Dillon Brooks. You played great. You averaged 25 points per game in the first in a playoff series. Great job stepping up. Mike Conley averaged 17. All these guys in the playoffs. Donovan. The only game that the Jazz won was the game that, the only games that the Grizzlies won is the game that Donovan Mitchell didn't play in. So, yeah, let's get on to the next series because I didn't really watch this series. All I know is the Grizzlies would move them, like, they would get within, like, 3, and then the Jazz they would get really close, and then the Jazz would just pull away and go up to 12, and then again, the Grizzlies would come down, go on a run, and then the Jazz would go on a run and pull it away. They could never get the lead, except in that, game 4 at home. I think they had the lead with, like, and then they had like a 2-point lead, and then the Jazz just pulled away. It was just like, nope, it's over. Like, yeah. So, yeah, because I watched that one, the ending at least. And, yeah, the Jazz just took over. Anyways. Yeah, congrats to Ja Morant in his first playoff series. 30 points per game is really good for your first playoff series. So, let's get on to Nuggets Blazers, which I'm excited for this game 6 tonight. We got 2 games tonight. We got Blazers, Nuggets, Lakers, Suns, both game 6s, one in Portland, another in LA. And by the way, shout out to Ja Morant's dad. He had a conversation with Donovan Mitchell after the game, and he told him he was rooting for the Jazz to win the championship because of all the support they showed him. So yeah. Alright, anyways, get on to the series. Yep, we got Blazers and Nuggets tonight in Portland. And okay, this series has been interesting. There's been 3 blowouts and 2 close games. I didn't watch the close game because the Lakers game was on, and pretty sure we won that game. Yeah, we won. It was game 3, I think, for Lakers. For Lakers Suns, and I was watching Lakers Suns, so I didn't watch it, but the Lakers Suns game ended, and I saw the Nuggets were up by 10. So I was like, oh, this game's over. I didn't tune in, but then I saw that it came down to a Jokic putback to win the game. So they won by 5. They were up by 3. They missed a free throw. If the Blazers would have got the rebound, they would have had a shot for whoever, Damian Lillard, McCollum, to have a pull-up 3 to send to OT. But that just didn't happen. But yeah, Damian Lillard, he is a bad man. He's averaging 35 points per game. That 55-point game playoff performance in game number 5, all for it to be ruined by his teammates. That's tragic. Damian Lillard is great. He's great. He scores with he makes it look with ease. All those shots he was hitting, like 4 or 5 big time shots. It was crazy to watch. It seemed like anything was going in. And the second overtime, he had a bank shot. That was his last shot of the night. McCollum steps out of bounds. Oh, that one hurt. I wanted them to at least get a shot to win the game. They couldn't get it in double OT, but Damian Lillard sent them to OT. It's just, wow. Damian Lillard is just 55 points, averaging 35 points in the playoffs. And the game where they won by 20, shockingly, he shot 1 of 10, and they still won by 20. It's crazy. But yeah, even with that 10-point performance, he's averaging 35 points in the playoffs. He's a bad man. So what I got in this series though, how it's finishing out, I'm gonna have I'm gonna pick the Nuggets to win in 7. I think they're gonna win game 7. I think I don't know. It just depends on how the Blazers come out because Damian Lillard needs to come out like that, and his teammates just need to. I don't know. They just need to step it up. You can't ruin a 55-point performance. One of the greatest performances I've ever seen. He was going ballistic. He just couldn't miss. I was like, wow. Like, this, Damian Lillard was just on a whole nother level. Yeah. Well, the Lakers were down by 30 at half, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch this anymore. So, I mean, we had 3 TVs, so you could have the game on all TVs. But yeah, couldn't watch the Laker game anymore. So, anyways, next game we got next series we got is Clippers Mavericks. This has been a great series. Game 1, the Mavericks just punched the Clippers in the mouth. They come out. Luka, I think it was a 40-point game. He went crazy. They won by 10. I was just checking, and they were just not missing. Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, they were clutch in the first 2 games. Big-time shots. Game 2, they come out again. Tim Hardaway Jr., big-time 3 to put him up by 10 or something, and they officially said goodnight and went up 2-0. They won both games in LA, and I'm thinking they're gonna at least win one. I think Clippers are gonna win game 3, but I think they're gonna win game 4. Go back to LA, up 3-1, and with a chance to close out in LA. Game 3 was a game that they were up by 19. They were up 30-11 or something like that. They were in the first quarter. And they just I was like, no way they're really gonna close them out. I don't know if that was the game Dak and Zeke. I think it was it the game Dak and Zeke and I know Dirk was there, but I don't know if Dak and Zeke were at that one. They'd rather game 3 or game 4. And yeah, I don't know. I was like, game 3, the Clippers just came back and made it look like, oh, we're not even down by. This doesn't even affect us. This doesn't even affect us, And I'm shocked. I was shocked, but game 4, they just got punched in the mouth. Luka was playing with a shoulder injury. He shot 9 of 24. He didn't play good. And the Clippers just controlled that game the whole game. Like, it wasn't even a contest. And then game 5, we talked about game 5 already. We talked about Paul George. I said how Paul George has not been bad this series at all. He was the best player on the court last night. He was a plus 13 when he was on the floor last night. And a negative 22 when he was off the court. But that probably changed because I remember hearing that with like 5 minutes left or something. And, Kawhi, why would you take that shot? Like, why? You had 7 seconds. You could have got a good shot. By the way, the Mavericks were up by 10 with like a minute and a half left, and I was like, this game's over. Kristaps hit a big-time three to put him up 10. I was like, this game's over. The Clippers cannot. And then they started hitting shot after shot after shot. I think Paul George hit one. I think, or no, Marcus Morris hit 2. And, yeah, they were suddenly down by 1 with a chance. Before the Kawhi play, though, you had Terrence Mann. Paul George gets the ball up to Terrence Mann. Paul George was getting double teamed. He gave it to Terrence Mann in a fast break. The guy was behind him. It was gonna be a tough layup regardless because he was a little bit under the rim, I think, or something. I don't know, but he kicked it to he kicked it to Batum, and Batum goes up for the layup. It was contested pretty well. The guy had both of his hands up. It was contested really well. I think it was Kleba. Was it Kleba who was defending that? I don't know. It was something. It was one of their bigs. I think it was Kleba. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Porzingis. Puts both hands up. Amazing. Nicholas Batum misses. Mavericks get intentionally fouled. make both free throws. Kawhi has a chance to send it to overtime. He shoots a dumb shot with 7 seconds left when you could have got a way better shot. I don't know what he was doing, man. But both LA teams are down 3-2. Who would have ever thought that? Both LA teams are down 3-2. They're on the brink of elimination. One LA team plays tonight, one LA team plays tomorrow. Game 6 in Dallas, Game 6 in LA. Okay. Let's get to the series that hurts my soul. Hurts my soul. The Lakers Suns. Wow. Game 1. I wasn't shocked. We lost. We lost. I mean, it wasn't we got blown out or anything. Chris Paul got hurt. We were going back and forth for like the first half and a half, and then yeah, Chris Paul got hurt. I hate injuries. Bro. I hate injuries, especially in the postseason. Regardless if it's football, basketball, doesn't matter. I hate it. And yeah, Chris Paul goes down. He's holding his shoulder. It was friendly fire. He hit Cameron Johnson's arm, hit his shoulder or something. And I was like, frick, this does not look good. And then we get the good news. We see him on the sideline. We're like, I'm like, oh yes, he's gonna. I just want to know what the injury is, so I know if he's gonna play. They said it was a contusion. I was like, okay, this isn't terrible, but I've never had a contusion. It's like a big bruise, I think, right? So yeah, he has a contusion. They win game 1. LeBron only has 18. AD plays horrendous. 18. AD has like 13 points. And then he comes out and says that game's on him. He's got to play better. He's going to do better. They're not going to win a series if he plays like that. And he is a man of his word. He comes out next game, 34 points in a Lakers 8-point win in Phoenix. Chris Paul's not healthy completely, by the way. You can just tell he averaged 9 points before that game 5 performance or game 4 performance when he played amazing. Then game 3, man. We come out, first half's competitive. We're up by 3 at half. Second half, we win the game by 4. We just take over. 14-point win. AD has another big performance, 30. Speaking, LeBron has, I think in game 2 he had 23. And then in game 2 he had 23. And then in game 3 he had, I don't know, it was in the early 20s though again. So that's not something you see from LeBron. You're used to him scoring high 20s, early 30s. Regardless, I mean, usually low 20s is good for any NBA player, but not LeBron. It's like, wow, this is not what we've seen over the last few years that we've seen him dominate the league and go to what every like 8 straight finals, right? Or 8 straight finals, my bad. And yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, we're not accustomed to that. So, anyways, yeah, game 4 comes around. We're down by 140. I think it was 51-50. Right, 51-50 exactly. 80 gets a pass, cutting, layup, missed it. You see him go on the ground. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get up. It's okay. He's gonna be fine. He usually gets a little bit banged up each game. It's okay. I mean, he's always on the ground. So I'm like, he's going to be okay. He's going to get up. He's going to get back on defense. I don't see him back on defense. They hit an easy corner 3. They're up by 4, 54-50. AD stays in, but he looks okay. He's going to be fine. He's limping, but he always limps after that, and then he always gets back into the rhythm of the game. This time, he just couldn't. After halftime, we get a tweet, a Woj bomb, a Shams bomb. We get an alert. I get an alert saying AD will not start the second half. So I'm like, okay. I mean, he's gonna be fine. He's just gonna miss a few minutes of the third quarter, and then he's gonna come back out. He's just gonna get a little bit icing, come back out. And at that time, I don't think I knew what he was dealing with. And then a few minutes later, they go on a big run. They're up by 14 without AD. And we get the tweet from Woj Shams saying that he's not gonna return. He's not gonna play. I was like, frick, we're down by 14 right now. We need AD. He had back-to-back 30-point games. We need him. So, and then AD, he just, it didn't look good. It says strained groin. I was like, immediately, I knew that's not, the strained groin is not good. LeBron missed 27 games with it. Curry dealt with it. He missed like around the same amount. He missed like 27 games when he had a strained groin. And yeah, it wasn't good hearing that from him. And yeah, we go down by, we come back in the end. We push it within, I would say 5. Was it 5? It's like 5. We were hitting shot after shot after shot after shot. We were like matching threes. They were hitting 2s, we were hitting 3s. They were still scoring though. If they weren't scoring, we would have had the complete comeback. It looked like immediately after, like, the third quarter started, we weren't engaged. LeBron wasn't engaged. I saw him sitting in the corner. And then immediately CP3 just goes off. He scores 18 that game. No AD the second half. And yeah, get to game 5. I'm still a little optimistic. Not about AD playing, but about us winning. I'm like, LeBron is gonna do his thing. This is time to prove to us, I mean, that you're still here. You're still the guy. You're still the guy. And we know what LeBron's capable of in big playoff games. I see him. He immediately scores 5 points, 10-3, or 10-5. We were up 10-5. Devin Booker, crazy. He just starts scoring bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. He's a certified bucket. Devin Booker had 15 or something in the first quarter alone, and we were down by 6 going to the second quarter. Inexcusable second quarter. We only scored 2. We only made 2 baskets in that whole second quarter. That is insanity. That is ridiculous. If you're in the NBA, that should not be happening. It's inexcusable. They only scored 2 baskets in the second quarter. And obviously, if you're going to tell, they won that quarter by like 24 points. And we go into halftime down, I think was it 30? Well, it wasn't 30-60, was it? It was something absurd like that, though. It might have been 36-66, something ridiculous like that. We didn't score that much in the first half. LeBron, he went into half with probably like 7-9 points, something like that. And guess what? The role players played like bums that game. They played terrible. Second half, I didn't watch the second half. We were down by 30. I was like, if we don't make a push within these first minutes, I'm not watching the rest. We didn't make a push. I was like, I'm not watching the rest of the game. So, yeah, Chris Paul, I did have the TV on still. Chris Paul went down with an injury. Again, a shoulder injury. But it looked like, I don't know. By the way, frick Baradas, bro. Fuck Baradas, bro. That man is a sick guy. He's a sick man. He's a sick bastard. When AD got injured, he was like, karma's real. Karma's real. Because CP3 got injured, so he was like, karma's real. And then, bro, he's like, karma's real. This is what you get for, CP3 getting injured. Now y'all have to deal with an injury too, and blah. He was tweeting out, and then after he did not talk shit at all. All I heard from him the whole week was, oh, if the Suns would have had a fully healthy Chris Paul, the Suns would be up 3-0 and a chance to sweep Game 4. I had my hand on my head, man. Wow, that pissed me off so much. And then, and he was complaining the whole week about CP3's injury. By the way, when CP3 got injured, I was like, I want him to get help. I want everybody at full strength. I don't care. Oh my gosh, my phone's shaking. All right, I want everybody at full strength, and yeah, I want everybody fully healthy and ready to go. And for the whole series, because this is in my opinion, these are the two best teams in the West. So I want them at full strength. So obviously. But yeah, and then he's just keeping like, oh yeah, this is what you get for CP3's injury. Karma's real, bitch. All this shit. He deletes it instantly in the tweet. But yeah, fuck Russ. Anyways, yeah. Game 6 is tonight. I'm not gonna make predictions on the series because I'm not gonna jinx anything, risk jinxing anything. By the way, Dennis Schroeder was the first Laker in NBA history to shoot 9 attempts at a shot and score 0. I think Dennis Schroeder was the first Laker to attempt 9 baskets and score 0 points, I'm pretty sure, in Lakers history. Crazy. Crazy stat. I think that's what it was. But yeah, man, Dennis Schroeder we are so lucky that he didn't accept that 4-year, $84 million extension. Because he's not that dude. He's had one great playoff performance where he had 25, but I have not seen the same thing that I saw from an OKC. I think he runs better with the bench. I think he does. I think he runs better in the second unit, but who else are we going to start in his place? There's nobody else to start over him. I mean, that would give this, I don't know. Anyways, but it's a do or die game tonight. I don't know if AD's playing, but regardless, it's a do or die. You got to get it done regardless of if AD plays or not. We just got punched in the mouth game 5. It's inexcusable. I'm trying to be optimistic as possible. I don't want to think of it as the last Laker game of the season, but realistically, it could be, obviously. 7:30 is... we gotta treat it like... I hope AD's cleared to play. They said he was feeling better than he was the last couple days. But like I said, strained groin is not something that is easy to deal with. I've never had one, but just looking at the injury history of a strained groin, it doesn't look good. It's like most players miss a decent amount of games. I mean, he's lucky if he's going to be back this series, so I hope it's okay. Prayers up for AD. Prayers up for CP3. Hopefully we can get everybody back in the starting lineups tonight. Get everybody back tonight. We need AD, trust me. LeBron has not looked the same this year. Ever since that ankle injury. He was having a great year before the ankle injury, and he's not 100%, you can tell. It sucks because it's not... I don't think it's him regressing. I think he's just still injured from the ankle injury, and yeah, I still think he's injured. I think it's just injury. Hopefully it's not I don't think it's an age thing, to be honest. But yeah, let's go tonight. We got 2 great games on tonight. Nuggets Blazers at 5. Suns Lakers at 7:30. 2 closeout games, 2 big games. Let's get it, man. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out.